I am here with the lovely Queen Elizabeth I. Hello, Elizabeth.
Hi, Oprah. I heard that you had some questions for me.
Yes, I do.
Well, go ahead. Ask away.
When were you born?
I was born on September 7th, 1533.
What were you best known for?
Well, I was best known for being the Queen of England.
How did you react when you found out that you were the Queen?
Well, when I found out that I was elected for Queen, I was very happy. I was one of the first women rulers in England. I felt very excited and very accomplished.
That's great. How did you feel when your mother was beheaded by your own father?
I was very young and could barely remember my mother anyways. I never saw my mom die, but the sad part is that my father married to a lady named Jane a few days after my death. I didn't like Jane, but I never had to deal with her. You see, I lived in a guest house far away from the actual castle, so I never had to deal with Jane or my dad. And I hated Jane so much because she took over my mother's spot, and she was never nice to me.
How did you feel when you were alone in your own guest house and didn't get to see your father?
I didn't feel very alone, and I never wanted to see my mother or father anyway.
How did that make you feel?
Well, I never really liked my father when he married Jane, you know, because he was like, she was always mean to me, and then when they married, he started to get aggressive with his words and actions.
Were you ever neglected by your parents? What did they say about you?
Well, like I said, I never really paid attention to what they had to say, because I really didn't care what anyone thought of me at the time. No big deal.
How were you schooled?
I'd have to say he was an English scholar, a very nice person. He taught me how to speak 4 languages. Those languages were French, some Greek, a little Latin, and a lot of Italian. I was taught from home, so I never had to deal with lower-class kids. I was very well educated, I would say.
What were some of your talents?
Well, as I said before, I learned to speak 4 different languages, which wasn't really common back then at the time. And, yeah. Also, the English scholar said I had a bright future ahead of me. I thought I was actually going to become a scholar like him, but I never thought I was becoming the Queen of England.
Why were you called the Virgin Queen?
Well, because I was called that because I was never married. I always felt like the men were using me for my wealth and power.
Many boys do that these days.
Yes, they do.
I noticed you brought some pictures. Can you share?
Gladly. You see right here, that's me when I was ruled. That was the castle that I never had to deal with. My father, my mother. That's me when I was a teenager, when I first became the ruler, and that's between my first became ruler and my teenage years, so my adolescent years.
Okay, let's get back to the interview, shall we?
Well, I have to go to a party, so can we continue this some other time?
Yes, but before we end the show, everyone look under your seats and you will find the keys to your brand new cars.